Hey, what is good? We are here, rocking and rolling. JV wins, Dogon SS per usual. Conscious approach on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks to everyone who has joined us along for the ride as we continue to pump out this logical content. We will be back on our normal schedule next week, but hopefully it doesn't seem like we hopefully it doesn't seem like there was any lapses because you know
We in the
we will
building, bro.
continue to
We ain't
yeah
go
we
nowhere, bro.
yeah so hopefully it doesn't seem like there were any lapses because we still made sure to publish content to the channel, but as we always like to say, man, go ahead and do your boys a big old solid. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so, and this is your first time catching wind of what we like to do over here on this channel. We most certainly appreciate it. And so, with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and get right into it, man. We got some interesting topics to kick it with y'all tonight, as well as anyone who happens to click on any of these videos. First up, we are going to talk about Chance the Rapper. Chance the Rapper is coming to the defense of black actresses, particularly in the entertainment industry and Hollywood, who are speaking up in with respect to, I guess, a pay gap. Because I guess in the public discourse, publicly, we are starting to reckon with differences in pay when it comes to women and men in Hollywood and entertainment, but more specifically, black actresses and everyone else, because I guess black actresses are the lowest on the totem pole. Taraji P Henson was recently on Gayle King's show, and she got emotional talking about how she feels as though throughout her career she has consistently had to deal with not being paid in a manner that is commensurate with what she brings to anything that she's involved in when it comes to these movies. And there was a thing going around the internet where it showed the disparity between what Taraji got and what Brad Pitt got for Benjamin Button. And I think Taraji P Henson won awards for her performance in that movie, but she got like $150,000. Brad Pitt got like $10 million, and she was talking about how she was trying to get 500K. They didn't want to do it. They offered her 100K, and so she eventually settled on 150K. And so I guess on the internet, people are checking Taraji for some of these comments and saying, well, if black actresses want to make more money, they need to do better or negotiate better or have better contracts. I guess that's what's going on. And Chance the Rapper is not here for it. He is not a fan of that kind of commentary. And so he is speaking out against the critics in solidarity with people like Taraji P Henson. So this is interesting stuff. So we'll go ahead and provide a little context before we give our thoughts on this particular story. So this article says Chance the Rapper slams critics of underpaid black women in entertainment. It's no secret that the entertainment industry has treated black women unfairly for ages, and Chance the Rapper is using his platform to call attention to the issue. In a new clip, the Chicago-born performer notes how black women have been speaking up a lot about inequality lately and slams commenters who don't have room to criticize. He explains that while internet users may be quick to blame the victims in this situation, they themselves have likely never gone through what they have. Quote, they'll write some stuff and they've never had to negotiate a contract, never had to hire a lawyer, he explained. And if they did, it's like you not in The Color Purple, like you not doing nothing. His commentary follows Gayle King's recent interview with Taraji P Henson, in which the actress tearfully reflected on being underpaid throughout her decades-long career. So here is what Chance the Rapper had to say. This was when he went live, I'm guessing, on his Instagram.
Yo, I try not to add my voice to, like, I don't know, current pop culture events that doesn't have to do with me. But there's this current conversation going on right now. A lot of black women, black actresses are coming out and talking about how they was did dirty in the industry, how they weren't paid for their work, or you know. And this has been going on for years. But the worst part is seeing the comments and a lot of these posts with people talking about how they should have negotiated better, they should have read their contract and stuff. And these be like the dirtiest, dustiest, brokest, like least goal having, definitely least goal accomplishing people in the world. And they'll write some stuff and they've never negotiated a contract. They've never had to hire a lawyer. And if they did, it's like you not in the color purple, like you not doing nothing. And I hate to add any like I hope this doesn't get picked up. But yeah.
You hope it don't get picked up.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, bro. It's gonna get picked up.
What's going on here?
I know, bro. You don't know how the internet works. So yeah, those are the gist of his thoughts, right? So he's obviously defending Taraji and others who speak in that same manner, and going at people who have an issue or who are criticizing people like her because you ain't never did nothing on the level that these people have. So what room do you have to say anything? We recently talked about something related to this when we discussed Terrence Howard and how he was only paid $20,000 to do Hustle and Flow, despite the fact that movie made like $30 million on a budget of like not even a fraction of that. So somewhat related, but what did you think about what Chance the Rapper said in his defense of Taraji?
I mean, I can't help but, to agree with him. I mean, he didn't really say anything out of pocket there. I'm pretty sure he's well aware of how internet trolls are and how they behave and how they move in waves, sort of like locusts or any other biblical parasites that were going on out there. So internet trolls find themselves everywhere. So he's quite used to that. So the only thing he was doing was giving a description of the haters that he finds in his comment section, whether he's releasing a subpar album or if he's or if he's saying something of conscious and of note like this. So he's well aware of how it goes. Me personally, all right, dealing with Chance, the rapper here, he's a unique character to me. But in this context, I can't help but to agree with him here. As I mentioned, the internet is a very interesting place, and a lot of the comments that come out of these, the aggressive ones, the ones with no avatars or whatever's going on. Some of those people live in some dark places. And it comes out whenever they have something to say. So it's pretty evident. So you shouldn't really take too much heed to these people who weren't in the color purple. They weren't in this year's annual or last year's annual slavery. Woe is us. But let's dance our stuff away. I don't know what's going on in that. Am I going to watch that? Heavens no. All right. But they had to drop one annually. I mean, we're going to get another one some point this year. Look out for it. Who knows? But so yeah, it's just the latest rigmarole that's going on lately. But Chance the Rapper, I agree with him on this one. What are your thoughts on Chance the Rapper weighing in on internet haters talking about Taraji and her not getting paid?
What was last year's Woe Is Us movie? I think it was the Will Smith movie, was it? Was the Will Smith slavery movie? Was that last year? Yeah.
I think that
you're right. No, yeah, it's like clockwork. There's always gonna be the slavery / black,
plight
condition. Yeah. And they always come out at the beginning of the year. I guess they're trying to get them to win these awards or whatever. So they put them out like in December, January, so that they can qualify for these trophies.
You gotta line it up, man. You gotta line it up. Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it either. I can't stand this stuff. At least with The Color Purple, that's like a remake. That's another thing that's going around in Hollywood these days is lack of original ideas. Is they're just going to go back and rehash stuff and remake it and not do it as good as the original. But yeah, I hear what Chance is saying. Like you, I don't think that there was anything controversial about what he said. The people who are coming at people like Taraji saying do better and you'll be better, that's lazy logic. I find that particularly annoying. These are the same people who say, you know, racism doesn't exist and all you have to do is work hard and everybody has the same opportunity. It's like, okay, I'm not sitting here blaming racism for everything, but let's not say stuff that's factually incorrect too. Let's not go that far and make it seem like it doesn't exist. This strikes me as that same kind of lazy logic where people are just going to disregard the fact that there is an inherent pay inequity when it comes to Hollywood and entertainment. So I understand why he would feel the need to respond, because maybe he's close to the situation. He's worked with a lot of these women before, so I understand that. However, and you know, I got on this when I talked about Terrence Howard. You know, to a certain extent, unless you own the movie studio or unless you are a CEO or something of that effect, you are in some way, shape, or form a modern day slave. And you're never going to be able to receive commensurate compensation for your production or your contribution so long as you are below you know, the higher ups on the totem pole. So the question therein becomes, what's the solution? We can complain about this type of stuff all day long, but if we really cared that much, you know, I mean, I guess Tyler Perry, he has his own studio from what I believe, but I don't know if Tyler Perry's studio is so big that he can handle his own distribution. Somebody fact check me on that, but I believe Tyler Perry's movies are produced by him, but I think he still needs to go to studios to distribute his stuff. I believe. I could be wrong, but fact check me on that. Yeah, fact check me on that. But be that as it may, call up Tyler Perry. So the Black Collective, whomever that may be, okay, call up Tyler Perry, call up LeBron, Michael Jordan, Oprah, get Robert Smith on in there. Get all of these wealthy Black people to self-fund their own studio that has the ability, the capability to produce and distribute their own films, handle their own budgets. And maybe at that point, actors and actresses who participate in some of these movies can be paid in a manner that is commensurate with the contribution that they make to these projects. But so long as you're still depending on the Hollywood machine of Disney and Fox and Universal and the rest of these mega studios that are founded on shaky, suspect grounds and are led by people who don't actually hail from any of the communities that claim to be getting subjugated financially, we're still going to see a lot of this stuff getting played out. So Terrence Howard can continue to talk about how he only makes $20,000 off of a movie that made, I don't know how many times that, you do the math, the movie made $30 million. And Taraji P Henson only made a fraction of, you know, Brad Pitt's salary for, you know, Benjamin Button. But who runs the studios? Who is responsible for greenlighting these projects? And who are a lot of y'all running to be a part of these movies? Inequality, or rather the eradication of it, is only going to go so far when systemically, structurally, the power apparatus that you are depending upon for said opportunities are constructed in the way that Hollywood is constructed. So create your own studio. We talk about this all the time when it comes to sports. People in the NFL want to complain about stuff. Okay, start your own sports league. Yeah, perhaps it's easier said than done, but that's really ultimately the only solution. This is America, people. This stuff has been started and it's been perfected, and it is what it is. It is not going to change, in my opinion, not in our lifetimes, at least. I don't see it changing. It was built the way it was built, and it's working as designed for a reason. So unless you're going to build your own thing, deal with it. And I'm not criticizing Taraji for her feelings. She's entitled to feel the way she feels. We all deserve to be compensated commensurately. So I hear what she's saying, but there's a power structure in place here. And that power structure is what you're relying upon for your opportunities. And that power structure, by and large, even though we've gotten better and, currently compared to the way things were 50, 60, 70, 100 years ago, at the end of the day, who's the CEO of these studios? What does that person look like? What does the CFO of these studios look like? The stakeholders who make money off of the stock options for these studios and these movies, what do they look like? You know what I'm saying? It's a systemic thing. And so that's why we're dealing with these gaps in pay. If you want to see that stop, ultimately the only solution, start your own movie studios. Get all the rich black people together, start your own studio. People will support, and then you'll be able to, pay Taraji 2, 3. I don't know what she makes now. I'm sure she makes more than $150,000 for a movie now, but it's probably still not commensurate with what she brings in terms of the fanfare for whatever movie she's in. These hot girl summers and these single ladies and all of the black women, they love Taraji in these movies. so like she deserves to be paid more than whatever it is that she's being paid, whatever that number is. She's never going to get it. None of them are going to get it. None of y'all are going to get it. So start your own movie studio. That's why I big up The Rock when he went in and he got his wife together and they started the XFL. He's trying something. Maybe the XFL ain't the NFL, but he owns that thing, and maybe he can do it his way and make it better. But the power apparatus that is the NFL, you're looking for complete and utter equality. It'll never happen. We'll never see that. It doesn't exist. Same thing with the NBA. Same thing with the rest of these power apparatuses that have been in existence for hundreds of years. So, I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse because I repeat myself when we do these various topics, but it is what it is. Start your own stuff. Create your own movie studios. Create your own sports leagues. Otherwise, just relent and understand where you fall in the pecking order.
I agree. And from what it looks like, Tyler Perry has some deal with Sony when it comes with some stuff. So I don't know if that's distribution for stuff.
Yeah, that must be distribution. The point is, he needs the power apparatus to help him with his own distribution. And this is Tyler Perry, the one black actor, the one black person in Hollywood, who actually owns his own thing. I think it's in Atlanta. He has a whole thing, like it's a whole movie studio, the whole setup, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's as big as it gets in terms of black people in Hollywood. And he still needs to partner with some power structure that ultimately he has no control over, just to distribute his stuff. So this is how deep this stuff goes. And unless you are self-actualized and you are fully sustained in all of these endeavors, ultimate equality is a pie in the sky notion. It sounds depressing for me to say that, but the reality is it'll never exist. It never will. So your only hope really is to just own your own stuff.
Yeah, and that machine that you're speaking of, as far as the movie industry is concerned, or music industry, just these industries, I mean, it's a racket. And if anybody's ever did like Uber or Lyft, now I never did any of the food stuff for ride sharing, but if y'all did that, I'm pretty sure y'all are like very aware how much of a racket it is, like how much you got to put in just to get a little bit. I mean, it's literally like another form of slavery. It's ridiculous. You don't get paid anything. But it does it does help, supplement all this whoop-de-whoop. But once you're in a grind like that, if you're trying to do that to make money, you see how much of a racket it is. And same thing that I'm hearing with these industry people, for Taraji to be coming out like we said, Terrence Howard, for them to be coming out like, hey, bro, I wasn't getting paid for none of this stuff. And it's just a lot of things just coming to light lately. And these are just one of the things where it's just like, hey, even your favorite movie stars, even though they're living all this glitz and glam, because she was doing this one thing where she was breaking down like how much she got to give to her agents, her lawyers, her this, her that, and then she's walking away with like 15 or 20% of whatever she made. And that's a joke, but that's part of the racket, you know. And even when I was a cab driver, it was like, all right, well, you know, you got to rent the cab, you got to pay for this, you got to pay for that. And it's like, man, when am I going to start making my money?
Yeah.
So, you know, at some point you realize that this whole thing is, like you mentioned, set up for them to win and for you to fail. And not everybody's going to be getting Brad Pitt money, you know. And by the way, they're doing away with those kinds of superstars anyway. So they don't want to pay Brad Pitt money no more. They don't want to pay Tom Cruise money. They don't want to do that. So everybody's going to get marginalized now, especially with Netflix actors and all this other stuff that's going on. Like, you know, the industry is going to get saturated with air quote talent, and they're just going to find a way to rigmarole why they don't have to pay these people anymore. You know, they're just going to keep doing it. They do this everywhere. And so, and apparently this is how you make a profit in North America. And somebody's going to lose. And the air quote talent in these cases, they take the L. So, yeah, man, this is just part of the game. You know, these people signed up for it, and it sucks. But you know, what can you say? You know, who's really winning out here? Doesn't seem like very many. And even the people that everybody thought was winning and trying to compare their lives to, even these people are taking their relative L's. And again, I had said this a few ones ago. I forgot what the topic was, but you start to see why some of these people sell out, because they're making the money. They're making the money, but they're not. They're getting notoriety. They're getting notoriety, but they're not. And then there's some people that just say, you know what, I'll do whatever it takes. You know? And then those are the people that cross over, and because there is genuinely a glass ceiling, apparently. So, hey, I feel sorry for these women. I feel sorry for anybody in this position, honestly. But Chance the Rapper, again, I have to agree that anybody that wants to get in there and, you know, throw stones, it's like, hey, man, well, if you were in that position, you'd probably be saying the same thing. So, yeah, I agree. I concur on this one.
Yeah, I'm with him. I hear it. It's just the ultimate solution is, you know, you're not going to change the power structure. You know, in no area of modern society can we look at and say, you know, if we work hard enough at this thing, we can tear it down and build it again. Hollywood is going to function as it always has. The music industry is going to function as it always has. Professional sports are going to function as they always have. These various systems of control that afford people with payment in a manner that is in no way commensurate with what they put into it from a talent standpoint are going to continue to function as they always have been. So you have to remove yourself from these environments by becoming self-sustainable and owning your own thing. Is it easier said than done? Absolutely. But the ultimate solution is that, you know, there's no way around it. So like I said, I don't fault people like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, for doing what he did with XFL, because you know, you got to create something. You can't go to the NFL and say, hey, NFL, change. It's not going to happen, you know. And the XFL, since then, they merged with the USFL to create the UFL. So I don't know how that affects Dwayne Johnson's, you know, ultimate hand in that whole thing. But even when you get far enough to where you got instances like this, something happens, mergers, deals, acquisitions, you know what I'm saying? That's what capitalism is working as intended, people. It just is. And so you just have to have something that belongs to you. That's really the only way that you can sidestep that. Maybe Taraji needs to create her own podcast and make sure that she owns all the patents to it, trademarks the hell out of everything, so that every single piece of residual that comes through that thing is money that goes directly to her. There has to be something that she is in control of, that she owns. But this Hollywood stuff is going to continue to do what it does. It just is.
Yeah, well said, man. Best of luck to her. And all the other sisters out there, you know, hey, trying to get paid out there. Hey, man, I think, you know, I don't know what it is up there. Yeah, I've heard too many Hollywood stories of people living in other people's houses. and sleeping in cars. So I don't know how much money these people are making to be doing this stuff, but if it is a thing where it's like y'all still living check to check kind of, hey man, you know, you just with the rest of us. So everybody's in this boat unless you're scamming. So tighten up. At least you can cry in a Bentley. So
right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know, it is what it is, man. You know?
Man.
Hopefully they figure something out. Hopefully they figure something out. But it is working as intended. Believe that.
Mm-hmm.